All right, guys, we got Lucas in the chair today. And this one's an interesting one because when Lucas came, I looked at his hair and we have a bit of an issue. Right now, if we look at his hair, the graduation is sitting too high, meaning what ended up happening is that whoever cut it last went too much into a layer. And now we're having all this weight to the side that doesn't need to be there. If we look at the haircut, it's a middle part. And to be honest, based on what I'm seeing right now, I like the fact that it's a middle part. Why? Is because his hair is quite frizzy. So if I try to brush the hair back, what's gonna end up happening is that it's gonna shape into something that's gonna have a lot of volume, and I don't want that. I'd rather have something that's gonna sit towards the side rather with volume, and the reason for this is because the hair is already too short on top. So what is the plan of action? Plan of action is just reshaping the hair. We're gonna take the weight down through the sides, potentially leave some of the nape. We can make a decision at the very end if we want to keep the nape or taper it, and we're gonna maintain some of the length here. The real key focal point of this haircut is gonna be on how I style it and how the top is gonna sit. If we look at the hair right now, I actually do like how it's sitting into a middle part. We're gonna maintain that. And realistically, you guys are gonna see such a massive difference just by graduating the sides and taking the weight down, how the top is gonna sit. Right now, it's sitting too fluffy, too puffy, and it's because of the sides. Okay, so once we take this down, we have a bit of cream, you're really gonna see the shape of this haircut. So let's get to it in 2 seconds. All right, guys, so middle part, first thing we wanna do is, again, we wanna identify where the middle part is naturally sitting. So just very simply bring it back, push it forward, it's gonna just reveal itself. Then you wanna just split it. And like I said, the main focal point of this haircut is mostly the sides. It's very simple. I'm gonna do the sides first, then see what the lengths from the top to the sides are sitting, then I could adjust it. But realistically, just from the sides alone, if we adjust the shape, this haircut's gonna look completely different. Okay, so that'll be the first thing I wanna focus on before we even touch the top. So again, natural split, how does this look? Cool. Then I'm gonna come from the top where the apex at. Standard process, okay? We're gonna place the comb right before it rounds off, right here. I'm gonna split that. Whoa, hold up, pause right there. I know you're into this tutorial and you've probably been taking notes, studying the sectioning, watching the fade placement, but let me ask you something. If you've already watched these tutorials and you've been watching my content and trying to level up, why not just go all in? I've built something for barbers just like you. It's called the Essentials Program. It's a private community packed with weekly coaching calls, advanced tutorials, support from elite barbers, and constant accountability. And get this, it's $80 a month. That's one haircut, 2 at most. You probably spent more last week on Uber Eats anyways. This is for barbers who are done with staying stuck, who want to improve their fades, their sectioning, their scissor work, their styling, and even how to post content to book clients. And I'm gonna keep it real. If it doesn't blow your mind, you tell me. I'll send you that $80 back. No catch. But if you're serious about becoming the go-to name in your city, then you belong in there. Click the link in the description, join the Essentials Program, and I'll see you on the inside. Now, let's get back to the cut. At this point, I come from the bottom using the thinner side of the comb, and I brush everything forward. Okay, brush everything back. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now we're sectioning off the top. Okay guys, very important. My favorite technique of all time, graduation. Take a diagonal section, bring it down, come from underneath, elevate. Oh, rookie mistake. That's one. Section 2, bring it down. Section 2 now comes into 1. Okay, over directing on that round surface. Now we'll come and elevate. Okay, actually we're gonna come from under now. Boop. We're layering because it's a flat surface of the head. Look at that. All right, so this is the amazing part about graduation, is that I could still control the nape. Okay, I could still make a decision of how I want the nape to sit later on. Okay, so we're gonna keep continuing. I got about 2 more sections before we move on to the other side. Okay, nothing's changing, guys, same process. The only thing that's gonna change is now as I get towards the middle point, we're gonna bring everything down and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, same thing, except now I'm actually gonna work with a little bit more over direction because of the growth patterns of the head. All right, almost done here, guys. And what's gonna end up happening naturally is as we get towards the back, we're gonna have a shape that just connects on both sides, okay? Once that's done, then we could go look into our layer and see how it's all sitting. All right. There we go, maybe 2 or 3 more sections in here. But this is where I gotta start being a little bit more thoughtful, okay? If we look at the hair, we're seeing a lot stronger growth patterns. So I'm just gonna be a little bit more meticulous on the decision of the lengths that I'm cutting, okay? Nothing to cut. Okay, let's reduce a little bit through here. Okay, now if I bring it down, I can still see a heavy line. So I'm just gonna soften it slightly through my layer, okay? Look at this, just slightly. So using the shortest, longest point, just cleaning that up, okay? Number 2. Okay, then I pop in my outline. 1, open. Okay. Okay, now I go back. Okay, this is like 60% there. I'll go back, personalize, and make sure it's 10 out of 10, and then I'll pop in my outline. Look, everyone has a different process. I know some of you guys probably like to go with the outline first, then taper. I personally like to do it this way. Time to refine the nape. So the main thing, guys, what do we notice? We see this triangular shape, but it almost looks like a rat tail because it's like longer from the middle point and then it gets shorter through the sides. So what we want to do is just want to refine this length. I do actually like the corners, but the middle point doesn't need to be this long. So this is where I'm going to use a texturizing feather to be able to refine the middle point so it still matches the sides while it being reduced through the middle, so it just brings out the sides a little bit more. So when we look at it from a side angle, you don't see this. So like rat tail, you see just a stronger line that accentuates the jaw. So let's bring it down and use the shortest, longest point from here, Henry. Okay, again, this last point will be my reference. And now I'm just gonna reduce some of the weight so it also just sits tighter through the head. Again, very light touches. If I put a lot of tension through the hair, it's just gonna make a hole. So again, this is very much a visual thing. I just wanna see how it's gonna sit to the skin. Okay guys, so this is my final look on Lucas, and as you guys could see, such a beautiful transition with the clippers all the way into our graduation. And what a difference it's made. If we initially looked at Lucas's hair, we'll put the before here. It was very puffy. With a bit of a cream, with removing some of the weight through the sides, look how this looks on Lucas's face. That's the most important part. Look how suitable this is now. Look how the back accentuates the jaw. Look how the movement looks like through the back. This is what I wanted to achieve, and it was simply done with a simple technique, which is graduation, removing the weight on the areas that it needed to, which was the sides, okay? This is very simple to do. Again, the top, we brought it down, we connected it slightly, and that was it really. Like, most of the work was really done through the sides and applying a bit of the cream. For Lucas now, when it comes to styling, honestly, all he really has to do, Lucas, bit of cream, wet the hair down, towel dry it, and leave it natural. You could diffuse it if you want a little bit, but most of the time you could just leave the house naturally. It'll just sit like this.
Perfect.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.